Harvey. Good morning, Shaheen. How long has Valerie been working behind the bar?
Since yesterday. She seems to have picked it up quite quickly.
Hasn't she just?
Actually, the bar sounds quite jolly with her being there. She's really enjoying herself.
I'm sure she is. David, whose bright idea was it to let Valerie work behind the bar?
Actually, it was her own idea.
Oh, I should have guessed.
It's working out quite well. Simply a question of finding a square hole for a square peg.
And what do you think she's doing there?
Serving drinks.
She's chatting up all the spare men. She's flirting like a barmaid in a 4-ale public bar. I mean, what is J. Henry going to think when he gets back? David, why are you doing the typing?
Because there is nobody else here to do it.
Honestly, it's the second time they've let us down. The service is terrible nowadays. It used to be so good. We haven't got fish on the menu at all now.
No. Hello, Glenda.
Oh, hello, Mr. Logan.
I've come to see someone on business. Wedding reception.
Oh, you're having it here? How lovely.
Who's best to talk to about booking it?
Mr. Paul, I suppose. He's the restaurant manager.
Right.
I'll go and see if I can find him for you. Good morning, sir.
The trick is to pretend it's champagne. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Malt whiskey, please.
Yes, of course, sir.
Would you like something, sir?
That's very kind of you, sir. I'd like a Tom Collins, but I'll drink it later if you don't mind. Thank you, sir. And, thank you for the drink, sir.
Pleasure. You're new, aren't you?
Only to this job.
How long have you been working here?
A couple of days. To tell you the truth, I can't remember when it was that I last had a job. Long time ago. Actually, this is my husband's idea. You know how things are today. Credit squeeze, depression. So I thought I'd better help him out, poor old boy.
How very loyal of you.
Wasn't it?
Looking at your jewellery, you don't seem the sort of person whose husband is all that hard up.
Fake. Put the good stuff in the bank. So it says. Still, I must say I'm enjoying myself here. You meet a lot of people.
Sorry to have kept you waiting, Mr. Luke.
Chose wrong time of day, that's all.
Well, we're very busy at this hour, of course. Do sit down. Now, a wedding reception. What did you have in mind?
Not a sit-down do, just a small party of friends.
A buffet, then. Let me show you some of our menus.
Oh, thanks.
About half a dozen or so friends, would it be?
No more.
Well, I think we can offer you a most attractive table quite reasonably.
Don't worry about the money. I don't want to spare any expense. It's only a once-in-a-lifetime affair anyway, isn't it?
Oh, well, in that case, perhaps I could offer you this.
Oh, yes. Looks very nice. Could you give me an idea of the cost, total cost, please?
Certainly. Let's see. You'll want champagne, of course. Bollinger.
The best.
Flowers for the table. Full service. VAT. Total by 6. How about this?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I am so sorry, Mr. Hunt. I thought you'd gone to lunch.
An important call I forgot to make. I'm sorry, Mr...
Logan, Miss Luke's fiancé.
Yes, of course we have.
We were just making the arrangements for Mr. Logan's wedding reception.
Well, I won't be long if you...
That's perfectly all right, Mr. Hunt. I think Mr. Logan is quite happy with my suggestions.
Yes,
You are
yes.
happy with number 5, are you, Mr. Logan? And shall we say about half a dozen bottles of the Bollinger?
Well, if you say so, I'm going to leave it all in your hands.
Good. Then the only thing we have to discuss now is the date.
Well,
Yeah?
Sharon?
Speaking?
David Hunter, bit of a problem. Can you come over?
When?
No.
No chance. I'm up to my eyes. Can't it wait?
No, not for long. I want to put it right.
Well, perhaps you could pop over here.
Well,
Well, it's either that or we leave it till this evening.
all right. I'll come over.
I'll be here.
You work in the evenings as well?
Oh, I'm not allowed to go out with the customers, sir.
I wasn't exactly...
Sorry, sir. It's the married men that are the worst, sir. As soon as they stay in a hotel... Dear. Do I work in the evenings? Well, it hasn't been decided yet. Hello, Jill.
Hey, Janie. You had a successful trip?
would you like a drink?
No, thank you.
Yes, very successful, thank you.
That means the gutters ran with blood, other people's.
What do you think about Valerie's new job?
Seems to suit her. You'd know better than I do if she's doing it well.
Oh, darling, I'm a triumph. Aren't I, Jill?
Well, she's doing quite nicely.
Jay, I almost forgot. Did you find out anything about Paul Ross?
I wondered when you would get round to asking me. As a matter of fact, things went out quite well. Jimmy Wheatley of the London office had to go to Geneva on an insurance matter. He actually spent one night at the Chateau Rondel.
Jay, do stop dragging it out like a Wagnerian opera. Did he find anything out?
Well, Jimmy Wheatley knows the managing director there, and he asked him, quite casually, if they knew Paul Ross. They knew him, all right. And they thought very highly of our Paul. They were sorry to see him go, but quite understood his reasons for leaving.
And he was head waiter?
Indeed, he was. Perhaps for not quite as long as he gives the impression, but for long enough. As far as they were concerned, he was first class at his job and totally trustworthy.
I knew it.
Well, I'm sure you're glad that your suspicions were groundless and that we found ourselves a treasure.
I shan't be able to sleep for the excitement of it. I may even have to have a drink. But don't worry, I'll pay for it myself.
Oh, have it on me. Sorry about that. So, what sort of complaints?
Twice last week we had customers requiring a service and you couldn't accommodate them.
Had they booked in?
No.
Ah, well.
Well, what?
What do you expect us to do? Drop everything?
Well, you've got 3 bays operating now. Surely one of them...
You just walked through the workshop?
Yes.
Did you notice anything in particular?
Not really, no.
All 3 are working flat out. There's another car queuing for 2 of them. And when Sid gets back with a breakdown wagon, that takes care of the 3rd. Now, with that kind of turnaround, you can't call a halt to everything just because somebody who's staying at the motel sticks his head round the door and wants a service done then and there. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, we've never had this sort of problem before.
We've never been so busy before.
It's always been understood that motel customers get preferential treatment.
Not by me, Dad.
Oh,
Have we got anything in writing?
no. No, when Vic was here, he used to try and help her.
Well, that was when the motel owned the garage. If you said do this or do that, it got done, fair enough. But it's not like that anymore. Look, I've got 3 servicing contracts that keep 2 bays fully occupied. That just leaves me the 1 bay for passing trade and MOTs.
I see.
Unless, of course, you'd like to come to some sort of agreement.
Like?
Guarantee me so much work over the year, and I could cut down the passing trade.
There is no way I can assess just how much the customers will require your service.
And there's no way I can give them preferential treatment either. I'll do what I can, Mr. Hunter, but I can't promise.
Right, I'm going off duty now. Will you do us a favour? If Linda forgets that list of cold trays for tonight, will you take it into her, please?
I shan't forget, Diane. Have a nice evening off.
Thank you very much. Oh, good afternoon, Mrs. Pollard. Could you spare a
hello,
minute?
Diane. Well, is it desperately important? I've had a hell of a morning. I feel as if I've been round the Grand National Course twice without my horse.
Your husband's back.
I know.
Well, it was a bit of a shock, you know, to see him in the restaurant.
Well, he does eat, you know.
Yeah, I just wondered if you'd managed to have a word with him.
Yes, thank you.
About, Mr. Paul.
Especially about Mr. Paul. And talk of the devil.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Pollard. Congratulations.
It's not my birthday. I gave up having birthdays when I was 38 last year.
For doing so well in your new job.
Who told you?
The other bar staff, customers, they asked me, forgive me, where we managed to find you. I said Mr. Pollard recommended you.
You're diplomatic, I'll give you that.
Excuse me. Diane, have you managed to send the late meals list to the restaurant?
Yes, Mr. Paul.
Well done. Then enjoy your time off.
Thank you.
You know my rules about restaurant staff in reception?
I'm not in uniform.
In or out of uniform, unless it's for some essential duty.
Well, it isn't exactly essential, but it is quite important. I was just asking Mrs. Pollard if she'd heard from her friends in Switzerland.
Oh, them? Yes, I've heard. The people at the Chateau Rondel send you their regards, Paul. They seem to think very highly of you. Hallmarked, solid gold, good housekeeping seal of approval.
How kind of you to pass the message on. Excuse me, madam. Diane?
Well, I don't care if he's won the Nobel Flipping Peace Prize. He's still too smooth to be true.
Having it at the motel, then, the reception?
Aye, just a buffet. I trust you and Mrs. Brownlow do us the honour. And Glenda, of course.
Oh, I wouldn't miss it for the world. Thanks, Tom.
You'll be getting invitations. Doris will see to that.
Good. Well, good health and all the happiness that you wish yourself.
Aye.
Yeah, I'll bet that'll set you back a bit.
Eh?
Look, the wedding reception.
Oh, you've got no idea.
Oh, I have, you know. We were going to have our Glenda's there, but we cancelled it at the last moment and had it here instead. Oh, the prices. And it must be worse now.
That head waiter, or whoever he is, he had me signing for the best before I knew what hit me. In and out of that room like greased lightning we were. Still, you can't do less, can you?
It's usually the bride's parents who foot the bill, you know.
Well, this time it's on the bridegroom.
You haven't given that other matter any thought, then?
Backing out, you mean?
Aye. It's now or never, Tom. Make up your mind.
I've made it. I asked her to marry me. I put the ring on her finger. I booked the reception. It'd need a miracle to get out of it now.
And I don't think he liked it one little bit.
Who?
David Hunter.
No, well, he wouldn't, would he?
For a change, I had the upper hand.
Bully for you.
Oh, it was lovely, sitting there looking at him, knowing I'd got him.
You're power mad, that's your trouble.
I was in the right. Now, what would have happened, I asked myself, if Sid Hooper had been sitting there? I mean, can you imagine it? Yes, sir, no, sir, 3 bags full, sir, whatever you say, Mr. Hunter. Which means we'd have got behind on the servicing contracts, and we'd either have lost them, or they'd all be working all hours at double time, thus taking the cream off the profits. So it's a very good thing yours truly was there to do the talking.
Have you decided what you're going to do?
What?
About Sid and Mac taking over when you're away.
Yeah,
And?
they're not.
Who then?
Nobody. I'm not going.
That is going to make for one very happy policeman. Don't you care one way or the other?
I care a lot. It means a lot, but it doesn't mean everything.
Oh, he's not going to like it, is he? You're a lost cause, that's your trouble.
Hey, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was all you're doing in the first place.
Mine?
Well, you put the idea in his head, didn't you? Why not take Sharon with you, remember?
Well, it seemed like a good idea at the time.
Well, it seems like a good idea any time. You just try putting it to practice.
But it was sold on it.
Well, so was I. You get carried away, don't you? 6 months holiday in the country. My very own Bobby Dazzler zooming down the byways to my leafy bower by the riverside.
So what's wrong with a bit of dreaming occasionally?
Waking up. 6 months of that's not on.
Oh, Sharon, you're a nutcase. You really are.
Well, where'd you go?
Never. I'd pass up the world for my cold trolley.
Oh, very funny. I'm serious. If you were me, would you jack it all in and go down there and sit like a lady in waiting?
If I was actually thinking of marrying the fella, I would have thought that 6 months down there was very well spent. Well, at least you'd know.
Know what?
A damn sight more than you do now. And so would he.
And what does that mean?
Well, let's face it, Sharon, you're not the little woman sitting at home with the slippers and the hot milky drink, are you?
That's not how he sees me. That's not what he wants.
Well, you won't be happy until you're out there pulling a few punches.
Oh, come on.
Well, it's true. Take this business with David Hunter. Now, what does it amount to, really, eh? It amounts to getting one over and it amounts to coming out on top. You love it. You thrive on it. It gives you a high. And you won't be happy until you're getting some of that regular.
Maybe.
No maybes about it. And you're not going to find it sitting at home all day being a housewife.
Well, I can't see why it should matter to him.
Well, neither do I, but at least he'll know. Hello. Oh, hello. Hang on. Talk of the devil.
Oh, the devil.
She's just coming.
Hello, darling. Yeah. Yes? Yes, I am. Oh, you know, the usual. Listen, love, I'm going to try and come down this weekend.
I shall be here for another week. Then I'll be in Frankfurt for the conference. You have the Telex number there? Right. Go in.
Sorry, I'm a little late. We had some problems with the wine in the restaurant.
Plenty of time. How's the restaurant coming along?
Very well. We are fully booked most weekdays, and we have to turn down customers at weekends. From what your wife said, I take it you have spoken to her and Mrs. Harvey.
Yes, I have. I told them that the Chateau Rondel had given you an excellent character, first class at your job, and totally trustworthy. They were sorry to see you go.
That was very kind of you.
Kindness doesn't come into it. Couldn't tell them anything less. So it's all right, Paul. They are now perfectly satisfied that you are genuine.
I must say it would have been acutely embarrassing for me if your wife or one of the others had found out that I'd never been near the Chateau Rondel.
It would have been embarrassing for both of us. They'd pretty soon have guessed what you were up to here.
So now it's the same kind of arrangement as before.
Yes, but with one difference. This time, I want to know everything my wife does, as well as what's happening in the business.
Finding out everything your wife does could present some difficulties.
No, it'll be easy. Once I'm out of the way, she'll be about as discreet as a brass band.
Very well. Mr. Pollard,
Yeah?
as you're a shareholder of the company and a director, you'll be informed of everything that goes on here. You'll be sent copies of reports and minutes of board meetings. What will there be for me to tell you?
Paul, to them, you are a non-person, like all waiters, servants, lift operators. People who will get electronic experts in to make sure that their offices aren't bugged will come out of a meeting and discuss the most sensitive topics in front of the lift operator because he is a non-person. So become part of the furniture and keep your ears open. It's what they talk about before they go into a meeting and after they come out. That's what I want to know.
If you think it's going to be of some use.
I know it will. And so should you. It's not the first time we've done this.
No.
Just report to me regularly. Everything. I'll decide what's important and what isn't. Eyes and ears open, Paul. Find out everything you can.
I haven't forgotten how much we owe you. I'll do my best, you know that, Mr. Pollard.